सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्. We have completed chapter 4 in Bhagavad Gita. Now, today we'll take up chapter 5. Chapter 5 is Karma Sannyasa Yogamu. Karma Sannyasamu means this is representing Ashrama Dharma. Karma Sannyasam is Sannyasa Ashrama. So, Arjuna gets a doubt. The doubt is whether he has to continue in Gruhastha Ashrama or Sannyasa Ashrama. So, he had a doubt because Paramatma is saying to follow Karma Yoga and also follow Jnana Yoga. There is a subtle difference between sadhana and nishtha. Sadhana is the practice. Karma Yogam is sadhana, Jnana Yogam is sadhana. Sadhana and sadhyam. Sadhana and the other one is lifestyle. These are the two topics we are discussing in this particular chapter. The first topic is called sadhana. The second topic is called nishtha or lifestyle. With regard to sadhana, spiritual discipline, Paramatma made it very clear that everyone has to go through Karma Yoga sadhana and Jnana Yoga sadhana to attain liberation or moksham. There is no choice with regard to these two sadhanas. That means Karma Yogam becomes sadhana, Jnana Yogam becomes sadhyam. There is no choice between Karma Yogam or Jnana Yogam. It is like, you have two pants. You may ask, which pant should I wear? Similarly, there are two shirts. You have a choice between the two shirts. But you don't have a choice between a shirt and a pant. Both you have to wear. So in the same way, Karma Yoga becomes sadhana and Jnana Yoga becomes sadhyam. And Jnana Yoga, is it a sadhana or sadhyam if you ask? It depends on the standpoint. In the standpoint of Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga becomes sadhyam. In the standpoint of moksham, Jnana Yoga becomes sadhana. Because Jnana Yoga is in between moksham and Karma Yoga. By following Karma Yoga, you get Chitta Suddhi, Chitta Ekagrata and Chitta Vaisalyam. You are fit for Jnana Yoga. So Karma Yogam is a sadhana to enter into Jnana Yogam. Then following Jnana Yoga, that is Sravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, under a competent guru, you know your own real self, and by staying in that nishtha, you can achieve moksham or liberation here and now. So sadhana and other is regarding the lifestyle in this particular chapter. With regard to sadhana, spiritual discipline, Paramatma said that there are no options. Suppose you go to a doctor and you want treatment for your headache. Doctor gives a tablet. Then you will say, I want to cure my headache. I don't want to take a tablet. Then it is not possible to cure your headache, because taking a tablet is a sadhana And sadhyam is removal of headache. Sadhana and sadhyam, there is no choice. The choice is only between two sadhanas, or when there are two similar things, we have a choice. We can choose which one is to be taken. But here, Karma Yogam and Jnana Yogam, there is absolutely no choice. You have to follow both. Follow Karma Yoga and get Yogyata, get qualified for Jnana Yogam and enter into Jnana Yogam and get moksha. This is the scheme. Still, there are people who think Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga are alternative means of liberation. Still, majority of the people think that they are alternative means. They talk about different paths to liberation. If you are an active person, you attain moksha through Karma Yoga. If you are an intellectual person, you attain moksha through Jnana Yoga. This is the understanding of many people, which is not correct. Both Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, one has to follow. Now, what about the sannyasis, you may ask? Even sannyasis, they also follow Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. The difference between a gruhastu and a sannyasi, both do karma. A gruhastu does day-to-day work, all household things, whereas a sannyasi does guru susrusha. And gruhastu does parayanam, swadhyayanam, that is, he can read Sundarakanda, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Ramayanam, all these things he can read. And Gruhastu can chant Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Narayanaya. Like this he can chant a number of mantras. Whereas a sannyasi, he can do Swadhyayanam of Upanishads. He learns about Vedanta and he does Parayanam of Upanishads, Upanishadic mantras. He does Parayanam of Bhashyams. And regarding the chanting Japam, he has got Omkara Japam or Hamsa Gayatri, Soham or Hamsa Gayatri he chants. So that way there are a lot of similarities. Both does work. A Gruhastu has the sacred thread, whereas a sannyasi has got dandam. This way, both does karma and nobody can avoid karma. The purpose of doing karma is to get chitta suddhi, chitta ekagrata and chitta vaisalyata. That is a kind of preparation for jnana yogam. So this karma yogam is a must for sannyasi as well as gruhastu. So nobody can avoid karma yogam and directly go to jnana yogam. If you directly go to jnana yogam without karma yoga, the journey is impossible. If you stop with karma yoga and think that that is the end, that gives you the liberation, that means the journey is incomplete. Journey is asampurnam. One is impossible, the other one is asambhavam. One is if you go to jnana yoga directly without karma yoga, without processing yourself, then the moksham is impossible, asambhavam. Whereas if you stop with karma yoga and don't enter into jnana yoga, the journey is asampurnam, incomplete. This is what we have to understand. Then Paramatma gave this in clear terms. In 4th chapter 20 and 21, the scheme, that is tyaktva karma phalasangam nityatripto nirashrayaha karmanyabi pravartopi naiva kinchit karoti saha nirasi yatachittatma tyakta sarva parigraha shariram kevalam karma kurvan apnoti kilbisham. One verse talks about Gruhastu Jnani, who is in Gruhastha Ashrama, he has attained knowledge, and the other verse about Sannyasi who attained Jnana. So that means you can be in any ashrama. This ashrama is called Nishtha. You can have any ashrama and have Nishtha, but whereas the sadhana, that is karma yoga and jnana yoga, both are compulsory, and they must be followed in that order. First karma yoga and then jnana yoga. So there are two topics. One is called sadhana, the other one is called nishtha. The second topic in the Gita is called nishtha, or the lifestyle. So lifestyle, we have two lifestyles. One is called Gruhastha Ashrama, the other one is called Sannyasa Ashrama. Now the question is, there are many advantages and many disadvantages in both the ashramas. Advantages are there, disadvantages are there in both the ashramas. In Gruhastha Ashrama, usually people think that there is a security. There will be a lot of people around. Usually people think, at my old age, who will take care of me? They will be under the impression the children will take care. And there will be enough money to lean back. So that way, there will be house, there will be bank balance, you can employ people to take care of you. So that way, in Gruhastha Ashrama, there is security. This is the advantage. The disadvantage is, in Gruhastha Ashrama, the person is fully engaged, 100% engaged in the worldly things. So, he cannot concentrate on jnanam. He cannot totally dedicate himself into jnanam. So, because he cannot dedicate himself into jnanam, he cannot understand, and he cannot stay in that nishtha. So, Gruhastha Ashrama, advantage is security. The Gruhastha Ashrama does not give a proper ambience for vairagyam and to understand one's real life, to understand one's reality, one's real swarupa, he cannot concentrate. So this is the major disadvantage. Because there are a lot of ties. The children will ask him to come to them and take care of their children. So that way he is always engaged in one worldly thing or the other worldly thing. He has to take care of the grandchildren. So that way, a Gruhastha Ashrama is having responsibility, and the quality time is somewhat difficult for Vedanta. Whereas for a sannyasi, the advantage is he doesn't have family, he doesn't have any people around. So that way he has got ample time. All the time in the world is with him to learn, to understand the Swarupam and to stay in that Nishtha. So this is the greatest advantage of a sannyasi. But the disadvantage is he doesn't have a bank balance. He doesn't have a house. He cannot have any insurance like a gruhastu. He doesn't have people to take care of him. So that way he has to depend on the bhiksha. So he has to go to house and say bhavati bhikshan dehi. Or people in the modern days, they give bhiksha as per their will and pleasure. So that way, in sannyasa ashrama, we have the advantages and disadvantages. Advantage is the quality time is available. The disadvantage is the security is not there. But actually, this is only appearing security. In fact, the sannyasi is having more security than the gruhastu. That is what we have learnt in Bhaja Govindam. So, it depends on the mental attitude whether to take up sannyasa asrama or to continue in the gruhastha asrama to pursue. Now here, since Paramatma talked about both ashramas, Arjuna is again confused. What should I do? Emotionally, his mind votes for sannyasa now because he wants to run away from the battlefield. You know why? He has to kill his own revered one. So, he wants to take up sannyasa. That is why he keeps on harping the point that sannyasa is, better. So, why don't we take sannyasa? Like that, even in the 18th chapter, he asks about sannyasa ashrama. In the 5th chapter, he asked about sannyasa ashrama. In the 18th chapter also, once again, he talks about sannyasa ashrama. So his mind is in two ways, especially voting for sannyasa ashrama. So this is the state of Arjuna. So we have to understand, as there are two topics. One is called sadhana, other one is called nishtha. Sadhana means means to attain moksha. The means to attain moksha, the first sadhana is karma yogam. By karma yogam, you have achieved chitta suddhi, chitta ekagrata and chitta vaisalyam. That means you get qualified. Then enter into jnana yogam. Do sravanam, mananam, nididhyasanam under a competent guru consistently for a long time and understand your real swarupa and stay in that nishtha, get liberation. Jivan mukti and videha mukti. So, this is sadhana and sadhyam. Karma yogam is means, jnana yogam is end. Karma yogam is sadhana, jnana yogam is sadhyam. And when it comes to moksham, jnana yogam is sadhana, means, and moksham is sadhyam, end. So this way, we have sadhana and sadhyam, which is the first topic. The second topic is nishtha, lifestyle. Which lifestyle you have to have? Basically, we have two lifestyles. One is called Gruhastha Ashrama and the other one is called Sannyasa Ashrama. So here in sadhana, there is no choice. In sadhana, there is no choice. We should understand this clearly. Whereas in nishtha, in lifestyle, there is a choice. So you can opt either Gruhastha Ashrama or Sannyasa Ashrama based on your maturity. When the education is over, Guru advocates about the Sannyasa Ashrama. Now Sishya has to tell whether he wants to take up Sannyasa Ashrama or go to Gruhastha Ashrama. If a student is not prepared, Guru will not insist. So even if the Sannyasa Ashrama a Sishya wants, then in some cases Guru will not advocate Sannyasa Ashrama for some students because his mind is not matured enough to take up Sannyasa Ashrama. Because Sannyasa Ashrama is a one-way traffic. You cannot go back. Once you take up Sannyasa Ashrama, you cannot come back to Gruhastha Ashrama. So you should be matured and then only take up the Sannyasa Ashrama. So most of the times the Guru discourages if the person is not matured enough. He will say wait for some time. This is what our Puja Swami used to do for most of the people. So he will not give directly the Sannyasa Ashrama. He will say you wait for 1 or 2 years. He will prescribe some disciplines and ask him to meet again. So that is what they do. Immediately they will not give. So this is the thing. For Sannyasa Ashrama, one can take directly from Brahmacharyam to Sannyasa Ashrama without entering to Gruhastha Ashrama. This is one way of entering into Sannyasa Ashrama. If one is matured enough, he can take up the Sannyasa Ashrama and take up Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Karma Yoga means, as I told, he has to study, he has to do Parayanam and study the Upanishads, Swadhyanam, and then do Japam of Omkaram and Hamsa Gayatri. So, Guru Susrusha has to do, that is all the Karma Yoga for a sannyasi, and get qualified. And then the Jnana Yogam, by sitting in front of the Guru, he learns the Upanishad Bhashyams and then understand his real self, and staying in that nishtha, he can achieve liberation. This is the idea. So, the sum and substance is, for ashrama, for lifestyle, there is a choice. For sadhana, for karma yogam and jnana yogam, there is no choice. This one has to understand. Then Arjuna got a doubt and poses a question in this chapter, and the rest of the chapter is the answer for Arjuna. Arjuna had this doubt earlier also, but it was not totally clear because he got confused between sadhana and nishtha. So we will read this sloka number 1 in chapter 5. Sannyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogam cha samsasi yachreya yetayorekam tanme bruhi sunischitam. Arjuna vacha, He Krishna, karmanam sannyasam punaha yogam cha samsasi yetayoho yatyekam shreyaha tat me sunischitam bruhi. Arjuna is asking Krishna Paramatma, O Krishna, you are praising karma sannyasa and again karma yoga. definitely tell me that one of these two which is good for me. Paramatma is introducing both sannyasa ashrama as well as gruhastha ashrama. So while introducing gruhastha ashrama, he will say gruhastha ashrama is good. Sannyasa ashrama, he will say sannyasa is also good. So like that, wherever the possibility is there, they praise that and then talk about that ashrama. That is the style. So he says that you are praising both. So tell me which one is the best for me. You are the decider. I am not able to decide, so you please decide for me. So that responsibility is given to Krishna Paramatma. So Krishna Paramatma knows Arjuna's psychology, Arjuna's attitude. So, and that too, Arjuna is in a state of confusion. He lost the sense of dharma and adharma because of ragam, sokam and moham. So he gave that responsibility to Lord. So he says that, Hey Krishna, karmanam sannyasam punaha yogam cha semsasi. Semsasi means you are praising. What you are praising? Karmanam sannyasam. Karmanam sannyasam means you are talking about the sannyasa ashrama. Karma sannyasam. That means nivrutti margam. And punaha yogam. Punaha yogam means involving into the yogam. So you are praising both. Yetayoho, out of these two, yet yekam shreyaha tat me sunischitam bruhi. Definitely, without any confusion, without giving any scope for confusion, you please pinpoint and say this is good for you. Don't say this is good, that is good, like that. Don't give that kind of reply. You must tell me, in my viewpoint, in my case, which is the better option. So between the sannyasasrama and gruhasthasrama, there is a choice, as you all know. In nishtha, there is a choice. In the lifestyle, there is a choice. So both you are praising, which one is the best. So a jnani in the gruhasthasrami, a gruhasthasrama jnani is so glorious that he lives amidst activity, relationship, but still he is like a lotus leaf in the water, unaffected by the samsara. So this is what we all understand. But karmanyabhi pravartopi, that is the word he has used earlier. Karmanyabhi pravartopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. So even though a gruhastu is in the thick of things, is in the very mundane things, so he is not affected. Naiva kinchit karoti saha. So he is not affected by any of these karmas. Karmanyabhi pravartopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. So that is the explanation which Paramatma praises a gruhastu. So you are praising a gruhastu. Then in the very next verse, Sannyasam karmanam cha semsasi. In the very next verse, you are praising the sannyasa ashrama. You are glorifying the renunciate. That one has to give up all the karmas. So where did he glorify the next ashrama, that is sannyasa ashrama, if you ask? So it is like this. Nirasi yatachittatma tyakta sarva parigraha shariram kevalam karma kurvan apnoti kilvisham. So tyaktva sarva parigraha. So by renouncing everything, that means sannyasa ashrama. So by renouncing everything, shariram kevalam karma, only for the sake of the sharira yatra, he does work. So that is called nivrutti margam. So Paramatma is praising nivrutti margam as well as pravrutti margam. Pravrutti margam means gruhastu ashramam. Nivrutti margam means sannyasa ashramam. Both the ashramas you are praising. So I am totally confused. Arjuna is telling all this because he wants to run away. He wants to take up sannyasa. So he wants Paramatma to say, take up sannyasa. But unfortunately, Krishna Paramatma will not advocate Arjuna sannyasa ashrama because he is not having that vairagyam really. It is only a temporary vairagyam. Like we call prasuti vairagyam and smasana vairagyam. Prasuti vairagyam means whenever a girl gives birth, she will say that no more, this kind of affair. Having, undergone lot of pains and all that, she will have some kind of vairagyam about giving birth. Similarly, smasana vairagyam. One who goes to smasanam, people will think this is the life. And for this, we are, doing all kinds of unjust things, all kinds of atrocities. And ultimately, we have to, die. So if this is the final thing, the final goal, why should we, do so much of, this atrocity and avaidika practices and then earn money? This is called smasana vairagyam. So this way, Arjuna is having prasuti vairagyam or smasana vairagyam. Real vairagyam is not there because he has entered that battlefield with a clear agenda to fight out and establish the dharma. Now, after seeing his revered grandfather and guru, he got this temporary vairagya. Paramatma knows this pretty well. So Paramatma is replying, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Sannyasa Karma Yogascha Nisreyasakara Ubhau Tayostu Karma Sannyasat Karma Yogo Visishyate. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Sannyasaha Karmayogaha cha Ubhau Nisreyasa Karau Tayoho tu Karma Sannyasat Karmayogaha Visishyate. So Paramatma is saying both sannyasa ashrama and gruhastha ashrama are good. Both are good. It depends on the mental makeup. For a person who is not matured, it is not, sannyasa ashrama which is to be taken. Because he will suffocate a lot in sannyasa ashrama. Many people, they run away from the house and take up sannyasa and settle in Rishikesh. And they suffer every minute. Without maturity, if you take sannyasa ashrama, Puja Swamiji says it is dangerous for ashrama itself. So he does all kinds of illegal things. that is not correct. So sannyasa ashrama is good only when you are prepared and matured. So you must have sufficient mental maturity to live alone, to live without family, to live without bank balance. So that requires lot of courage, lot of maturity. So sannyasaha karma yogaha ubhau nisreyasa karau. Both are they give liberty. Both of them give liberty. Sannyasi can get liberty, and Gruhastu Jnani will also get liberty. Both are entitled for liberation. Tayoho, out of the two, karma sannyasat karma yogaha visishyate. Between karma yogam and karma sannyasam, Paramatma says karma yogam is better. That means Gruhastha ashrama is much superior to the sannyasa ashrama. There are not two reasons why he said he praises the Gruhastha ashrama when compared to sannyasa ashrama. The reason is sannyasa ashrama, the person is having quality time and ambience is there for him to study, and no distractions are there. So he can achieve the target in no time if he really concentrates on the subject. But whereas a Gruhastha ashrama, there are so many attractions, so many responsibilities are there for a Gruhastu. He has to fulfill all the responsibilities. Amidst all activities, he has to take up the Jnana Yogam. He has to do Sravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, and take it up as his topmost priority. At the back of the mind, this should revolve 24/7. So this is a difficult task because he is deeply involved in mundane things, in day-to-day affairs. When he is fully engaged in day-to-day affairs, so switching over the channel from Vyavahara to Paramardhika is not an easy task. There will be so many problems which a Vyavahara Prapancham poses to a Gruhastu. So, in spite of these problems, in spite of the activity, he has to continue the study, Sravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasanam. He has to achieve the Nissamsaya Jnanam and stay in that Nishta. Nididhyasanam he has to do, which is a difficult thing compared to a sannyasi. So, a Gruhastu Jnani is much, much superior to a sannyasi. That is what Paramatma says. So, he says, Tayoho, out of the two, karma sannyasat karma yogaha visishyat. So, a pravritti marga, that is Gruhastu marga, is superior to a sannyasa marga. That is what Paramatma has explained. So we have these dvandvas, pair of opposites. So a Gruhastu must be like a lotus leaf, as we told earlier. So a lotus leaf is in the water, but it is not wet. It is not tainted by a single drop of water. So in the same way, when a person is in a Gruhastha ashrama, so he has to take up the Jnana Yogam as his topmost priority, which is not an easy task. So that is why Paramatma praised a Gruhastha ashrama and compared this is a better option than the sannyasa ashrama. This is because there are many ashramas. This is because 3 ashramas are there. That is Brahmacharyam, Sannyasam and Vanaprastham. All the 3 ashramas are dependent on Gruhastha ashrama. So Brahmachari doesn't earn, Sannyasi doesn't earn, Vanaprasthi doesn't earn. They don't have a bank balance, nor they have any supporting system to support themselves. So they depend on the Gruhastha ashrama. Gruhastha ashrama plays a very pivotal role in the society. He has to take care of sannyasi, take care of brahmachari, take care of vanaprasthi. So a gruhastu has got a tremendous role in the society. That is why a gruhastha ashrama is superior to the sannyasa ashrama. And also Paramatma knows the psyche of Arjuna. Arjuna is very much emotionally tempted to take sannyasa ashrama, though he is not having a mental maturity. So Paramatma wants to say that Gruhastha ashrama is superior to sannyasa ashrama, so that he is not leaning. So he doesn't lean towards the sannyasa ashrama, which he is not befitting. So this is the idea. Then the third sloka. Jneyassa nitya sannyasi yo nadveshti na kanshati nirdvandvo hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramutyate. Yaha nadveshti nacha kanshati saha nitya sannyasi yaha mahabaho nirdvandvaha bandhat sukham pramutyate. O Arjuna, he who does not desire, does not hate, is to be known as a permanent sannyasi. Because one who is beyond the pairs of opposites is completely freed from bondage of this samsara effortlessly. So Paramatma is saying one who is free from ragam and dvesham, one who is free from ragam and dvesham, then one who is free from dvandvas, pairs of opposites, such person is free from all ties, all shackles. So he is liberated. So the management of ragam and dvesham is important for both gruhastu as well as sannyasi. Sannyasi may also have some ragam and dvesham if he is not processing properly, if he does not do this parayanam and all the karma yogam, if he doesn't do, then a sannyasi is not qualified for jnana yoga. So the first basic thing is one has to perform the karma yoga irrespective of the ashrama, either a gruhastha ashrama or sannyasa ashrama. By practicing karma yoga, you get qualified. By assimilating jnana yoga, you will be free from dvandvas. You will be free from pair of opposites. Pair of opposites you are free from means you can be free from the shackles of samsara. That is the liberation. So he can achieve liberation even though he is a Gruhastha. We give the example of Janaka Maharaja. Janaka Maharaja, being a Gruhastu, is not an ordinary Gruhastu, he is a Raja, Maharaja. So he has got lot of responsibilities. So he is to learn Vedanta along with other sannyasis. So these sannyasis, they were having some low opinion about Janaka Maharaj. The Guru wanted to teach them a lesson. When Guru was teaching the lesson, suddenly Guru shouted, all your kutiyas and the Raja Sauda of Maharaja are under fire. So immediately all sannyasis ran away. Whereas Maharaja did not move an inch. He sat for the teaching. So the sannyasis went to their kutiyas and found that is a false news. And when they came back, they saw that Janaka Maharaja is fully involved in learning Vedanta. So he is having utmost concentration. So even though he is a Gruhastu, he is a Jnani. So that is how one has to learn. That Antara Sannyasam is very important. The internal renunciation is very, very important for a Jnani. So that is the important, that not that external sannyasam, not wearing a dress and living in a kutiya. This is not or wearing a dadi. That is not the important factor. One should renounce internally in the mental plane. So if one can achieve, that means he is beyond the pair of opposites. So if a Gruhastu is beyond the pair of opposites, he is free from the shackles of the samsara. That is what Paramatma is saying. So the second and third slokas, Krishna Paramatma is praising a Gruhastu Jnani. Bhagavad Gita is mainly for householders because it is narrated by Mahagruhastu, Krishna Paramatma, narrated to a Gruhastu Arjuna, and entire Bhagavad Gita is compiled by a Gruhastu Vyasa. So this way, this is best suitable scripture for a Gruhastu. Whereas for a sannyasi, usually they talk about the Upanishads. The Upanishads talks about the Nivrutti Marga more than Pravrutti Marga. Especially if you go to the Bhashyam, Shankara Bhashyam is full of sannyasa asrama. He is out and out, Shankara is out and out in favor of sannyasa asrama. Wherever you get a word called man, he translates that as a sannyasi. So he is so fond of sannyasa asrama. So the Upanishadic teaching is more for a sannyasi, and Bhagavad Gita is more towards a Gruhastu. That is why Bhagavad Gita is more popular than Upanishadic teaching. So we will learn more in the next class. Om Tat Sat Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम